please hit that subscribe button.
Hey everybody.
Better suited to win the Stanley Cup this season. If you are new to the channel, Washington Capitals, the Boston Bruins.
Locked on and he scored! And we're live. Hey everybody. So it's time for another episode here of 5 NHL players having career best seasons in 2019-20. Again, these are not the only 5 players that fit into this category, and I've talked a lot about others already in previous episodes. So, you know, these aren't the only 5, but these are 5 guys having career best seasons this year in the NHL. Before we start, I just quickly want to remind everyone to please hit that subscribe button and follow along for all of my hockey content, and give this video a thumbs up as well, as those likes really go a long way in helping the channel. But let's get into it here, starting it with number 1 of this episode, Ryan Strome of the New York Rangers, 26 years old. And after years of being kind of a bust at the NHL level, he was drafted 5th overall in 2011 by the New York Islanders. Never really lived up to that potential until this season. He is having his career best year, a breakout season with the New York Rangers. 70 games played this year for New York, 18 goals, career high, 41 assists, career high, and 59 points, career high. His first 50-point season since 2014-15 with the New York Islanders, which is his previous best season in the NHL. And man, is it nice to see Ryan Strome finally succeeding at the NHL level. So Strome came in with the New York Islanders and had one good year in his second NHL season, his first full season. He had 17 goals and 33 assists for 50 points with the Islanders in 2014-15, and that appeared to be his arrival at the NHL level. Unfortunately, the next year, he had just 8 goals and 28 points. And the year after that, he had just 13 goals and 30 points. And at that point, the Islanders pretty much gave up on him. After 2 bad seasons, he was severely going this way, the other way, and the Islanders were done with him. He looked like a massive draft bust. They traded him to the Edmonton Oilers. In Edmonton, he was also pretty much a bust. He only had 34 points his first season with Edmonton, 13 goals, and it looked like he was not working out anywhere in the NHL, and it looked like his career was headed towards being over sooner rather than later. Then in his second season with Edmonton, last year, 2018-19, he had just 2 points in his first 18 games with the Oilers, and this looked like it was it for Ryan Strome. It was like, wow, huge draft bust, complete failure at the NHL level. He gets traded to the New York Rangers and plays the rest of the year with New York, and actually has a somewhat solid season, scoring 18 goals and 33 points in 63 games in the second part of last year with the New York Rangers, the final 3/4 of the season he spent with New York. Now this year, his first full season with the New York Rangers, and it's been his best career season so far. An absolute breakout year for the 26-year-old Strome. Like I said, 18 goals and 59 points in 70 games played. Again, if the NHL is able to continue their season and finish out the rest of the regular season, a full 82 games, he's likely going to have over 20 goals. He's going to have over 60 points, and it will be by far his best season in the NHL. So great year so far for Ryan Strome of the New York Rangers. Number 2 now, Derek Grant of the Philadelphia Flyers, started this season in Anaheim. He's having a hell of a year. For so far, his best season since 2017-18, which he spent with the Anaheim Ducks. Now listen, this guy has played for so many different teams. This guy has bounced all around the league. He's played for Ottawa, he's played for Calgary, he's played for Buffalo, he's played for Nashville, he's played for Anaheim, he's played for Pittsburgh, he's played for Philly now. I mean, this guy is a 4th-line depth player who is a really good 4th liner, and I think that's why he's been on so many teams, because so many teams want him, and a lot of teams, he's been traded at the deadline a lot, because a lot of teams want him on their 4th line and as a depth player heading into the playoffs, and that's why he was traded again this year from Anaheim, who's not going to the playoffs, to the Philadelphia Flyers. But This season has been absolutely outstanding for Derek Grant. He has a career-high 25 points, a career-high 15 goals this year, and he continues to just be an incredibly good fourth-line player in the NHL and somebody that teams want in their lineup heading into the postseason. His previous career best season was 12 goals and 24 points in 66 games for Anaheim back in 2017-18, but he is definitely been better than that this year with 15 goals and 25 points in what are we looking at? 50. I can't do math. I'm stupid. I can't do math. 56 games played this year between Anaheim and Philadelphia. So, career best season for Derek Grant. Now on the Philadelphia Flyers. Started the year with Anaheim, and he's got a career high in goals and points this year. Moving on now to Alex Iafallo of the LA Kings, 26 years old, in his third NHL season, and this has by far been his best NHL season, as through 70 games he has a new career high in goals of 17, a new career high in points of 43, a new career high in assists with 26. Let's see, he's got 2 more goals than he had last year, and again, that was in the full 82-game season. This year he's played 70 games. If we are able to play 82 games this year, he's going to probably go over 20 goals this season, which will be his first 20-goal season. He's got 26 assists this year, which is 8 more than he had last season, and again, 12 less games. And he's got 43 points this year, which is 10 more than he had last season, and again, 12 less games. So, best season by far for the 26-year-old Iafallo, who is really coming into his own as a top 6 player with the LA Kings. And while certainly the team is not good, Iafallo's having a good year and providing some solid offense for them as really a second-line level player. Moving on to the Winnipeg Jets, we have defenseman Neil Pionk, only the second defenseman I've talked about in this series so far. But Neil Pionk is really having his best NHL season by far. He broke into the league with the New York Rangers, played a full season in New York, his first full season in the league with the Rangers last year. 73 games, he had 6 goals, 20 assists for 26 points. Obviously, not a bad year at all for Pionk there with the Rangers. But the 24-year-old defenseman this year, after getting traded in the offseason as a part of the Jacob Trouba deal that sent Trouba to New York and Pionk to Winnipeg, in his first year with the Winnipeg Jets, Pionk is having his best NHL season. 71 games played, 6 goals, tied his career high, 39 assists, blowing away his previous career high of 20 and blowing away his previous point total. So he's got more assists this year than he has had ever in points in a season up to this point in his career, and 45 points this year in the NHL for Winnipeg. So certainly almost 20 more points than he had last year in his first full season. This has been a breakout season for Neil Pionk, as he's been absolutely spectacular on the back end for Winnipeg. And I mean, that trade, they're paying him significantly less than they'd be paying Jacob Trouba, so that trade is really starting to look like it's working out for the Jets. Obviously, the Rangers like having Jacob Trouba, and he's a big part of their back end, but it's not bad for the Jets either, as Neil Pionk has turned into a very, very good top 4 defenseman for them. So, moving on to the final one, number 5 of this episode, and we've got a goaltender to talk about, Jacob Markstrom of the Vancouver Canucks. Now, Markstrom has been injured the last few weeks, and that's, been a huge loss for Vancouver, as Markstrom was having his career best season this year. He came into the league with Florida, but was only ever a backup. Then he went to Vancouver, where he was continued to be a backup goaltender up until the last few seasons, when he fully took over the starting role in 2017-18. He had 23 wins that year, 26 losses, and 7 OT losses, with a goals against average of 2.71 and a .912 save percentage. That was his previous best NHL season. Last year, I do not believe he was as good as he was the year before. The team won more because the team was significantly better, but his goals against was higher, and his save percentage was once again .912. Either way, he's had better numbers this season. 23, 16, and 4 on the season, and 43 starts. 2.75 goals against average and a .918 save percentage, which is the best of his career. So Markstrom's had a really, really strong this year. He was basically carrying the Canucks for the early part of this season. He's been a big reason why they've been a playoff team this year, a playoff level team. He's having his best season. Unfortunately, he got injured, and that's kind of hurt the last month or so for Vancouver. Hopefully, the league can come back, and when the league does come back, Markstrom will be healthy and able to come back for the final part of this season. And he'll be going for a career best year as far as depending on how the rest of the season wins. If he can get to that career high of 28 wins again this season, definitely going for a career high in save percentage with .918 this year, and definitely potential to get a career high in goals against, as well as he only needs to drop it by .04 goals per game to be able to do that. So Jacob Markstrom having a great season for Vancouver this year, a big reason why they're in a playoff spot. Also made the All-Star game this year for the Pacific Division. But it's what am I trying to say here? But that's been a career best season and a big reason why Vancouver is having the success that they are. So with that, guys, like, comment, share, subscribe, follow on social media. All those links are down in the description below. If you'd like to further support the channel, the links to our Patreon and merchandise store are down in the description as well. Keep spreading the word about this channel. Let's keep this thing growing. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll be talking to you guys soon.